There we go.
Okay, things started, yeah. This is a real tight call the meeting to order. Legislative Audit Commission, the Evaluation Subcommittee, welcome everybody to the meeting. My committee state government went until noon, so I ran upstairs here as quick as I could to get to this meeting. So glad to be with you, Ms. Randall. Why don't you go ahead and get us started for the topic selection.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Because we are taking votes, I think we probably should start with roll call.
Okay, let's go ahead and have the roll call. Who is that Ms. Gelb or?
Garrihy.
Ms. Garrihy.
Senator Kiffmeyer, yes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, Senator Kiffmeyer.
Present.
Senator Klein.
Here.
Senator Karan.
Present.
Representative Erickson.
Present.
Representative Hansen.
Present.
Representative Liebling. Representative Liebling, I think maybe on mute. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't get it unmuted, sorry.
Okay, that completes the roll. All members are present.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. With that, then I'll go to you, Ms. Randall, to get us started.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. For the record, my name is Judy Randall, Legislative Auditor. Thanks for finding time for this today. I know it's a busy day. So the agenda for today is for the subcommittee to select 15 topics for further consideration for OLA to evaluate in the coming year. The key materials you should have in front of you, which we sent to you electronically and also delivered, I believe, yesterday. A tentative schedule, which we can talk about if you want. Probably the main thing is to get the topics selected, but a tentative schedule to help lay out the process. The master list of topics that has 66 topics organized by broad category. An additional topic that came in this morning that was emailed to you. Let me know if you don't have it. And then also the topic selection criteria, which are the criteria the commission has agreed upon to use to select which topics to consider. And it's things like how much state resources are involved, how many people are affected, is this a good time, things like that. The goal for today is to select no more than 15. You don't have to select 15, but 15 is kind of the magic number we're going for today, or fewer. And then what will happen is we will take the topics the subcommittee selects, OLA staff, program evaluation staff will develop kind of a one-page background paper outlining how does this topic stand up against the criteria you all have identified. We will do a little digging, get a little more information, see if these are topics where OLA can add some value. We will then meet again in about 2 weeks to discuss those background papers. You will then narrow the list down to 10. That's when we'll do the survey of all legislators. We'll do the survey. Then we will meet again. This is a hardworking subcommittee. I appreciate your time on it. You'll meet that third time to review the survey results, again, review feedback from OLA to select the final 5 topics. That's the magic number we're going for at the end. And then, of course, the full commission will meet to approve those 5 topics. So that's kind of the broad strokes of what we're trying to do today. So the task before you is to select 15 topics for further consideration. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yep, thank you very much, Ms. Randall. I really appreciate that overview. I have a couple questions which may, before we start thinking about that, because I think are important, and I suspect other members might as well. So one of my questions is on item number 10, the UI payments. It says requested by several legislators related OLA released in 2022. Does that mean by your note there that the topic number 10 is basically the same as the one that's already being done and being released in 22, or is the scope differently?
Madam Chair, thank you. It's a great question. The scope is slightly different. We're looking at a specific type of kind of stolen identity aspect of unemployment insurance and the current evaluation, which will be released later this month. I will note that our financial audit division, when they can, they have done some of this work as part of a single audit. So that would be something the state auditor is looking at right now. That is part of the single audit. We test eligibility and could identify if certain certain individuals, if certain individuals did not qualify. mouth of marbles today. We could add this to a FAD topic list for next year. It could be something the Financial Audit Division digs into. So we have a related but different question in our current evaluation. The single audit touches on this somewhat, and then it's something Financial Audit could look at.
Okay, thank you very much. Another question I have for you is, for example, on number 39, Insulin Safety Net Program, it says requested in Minnesota statutes 151.74 subdivision 14. Does that mean it's a statutory request? I don't recall seeing this before. Could you explain that?
Madam Chair, members, yes. So it is a request. It's not a requirement, but it's a request that OLA conduct this audit, and it is in law.
Okay, it's one of those. All right, I noticed there were several of them. That's one of those things that could be done through topic or otherwise. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions on the topics as presented to us before we get started on the selection? Any other? I'm not seeing any hands up. Representative Liebling.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. And that kind of brings me to the question that the way the requester describes what they want or the way it's on this sheet, are we kind of bound by that as we make the selection, or can we kind of, reframe them? I mean, there's one in particular that I think might be helpful, but not the way it's framed on the sheet. I guess that's the issue. So what would be your preference?
Yeah, I think Ms. Randall could help with that, because many times we discuss them and scope them a little bit different. Ms. Randall.
Madam Chair, Representative Liebling, Madam Chair, you're exactly right. We can massage the topics, and if it's something that the commission is like, well, I'm kind of interested in this, but I want to take it in this direction, that is certainly the prerogative of this subcommittee to do that. And in fact, last year, you all worked with me, and I really appreciated it, to help scope these topics down more narrowly since we got a late start last year. So absolutely, we can do that.
Okay. Does that help you, Representative Liebling? Okay, all right, good. Representative Hansen, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Ms. Randall, I see there are 3 nursing things. 2 of them appear to be board related and the other is student nursing. Is there any way to combine those? Are they just your impressions on those?
Ms. Randall?
Madam Chair and Representative Hansen, thank you for the question. Certainly the Board of Nursing topic, which is number 47, and number 44, the complaint unit, we probably could combine those somehow. I will note that we did an evaluation in 2015 related to complaint handling. So we might have already touched somewhat on number 44. Student nursing, I think, would be a different angle. Student nursing, is that, what topic number is that, Mr. Chair? Or sorry, Mr. Representative Hansen.
Do you have a number, Senator?
14.
Representative Hansen, okay.
Madam Chair, 14.
14. All right, there it is, school nursing services. Doesn't say student, it says school nursing.
And Madam Chair and Representative Hansen, I would note that 14 is quite a different topic. That's about the health services in the public schools. So 14 is really quite different than the topics related to the Board of Nursing. Okay.
Any other questions from anybody? Okay. With that, I'm reminding myself that last year, I think we just kind of had we went around, each person got to put a topic out. And we kind of worked our way through to the 15 by starting out that way. So each member could choose a topic to go with it. And so if you're all okay with that, I would like to move to having that happen. And I'm thinking that if we start with the House, that we would start with you, Representative Liebling, if you want to choose one of the numbers, and then we'll keep going back and forth, House and Senate.
Okay, well, thank you, Madam Chair. Well, that was a a helpful conversation to me that we just had. I think I would put number 47, the Board of Nursing, and if we could combine it with 44 in some way to kind of pick up more there, that makes it a more attractive topic to me. So I guess with that, after Representative Hansen's question, I guess that's where I would go for the first one.
47 then. All right. And then we'll go to the Senate, Senator Curran.
I would go with 59.
Okay, 59 is just briefly, that's a trunk highway, okay?
Madam Chair, if
Ms. Randall.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt. I did want to let Senator Curran know that we are working on a financial audit right now that does address a lot of these questions that we're hoping will be released in the next couple of months. So you certainly can keep it as your selection, but with that information, you may choose.
Madam Chair, then I would change that to 42.
Okay, 42. Can you just give us a one-word topic, Senator Curran?
COVID-19 death count.
Okay, all right. All right, with that, I will go back to the House. Representative Erickson.
Number 1, the Department of Public Services Office of Justice Programs. They provide a lot of grants, and I think it's time we find out what effect these grants are having on our public safety justice program and what kind of results. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then I will go back to the Senate, Senator Klein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 62, broadband infrastructure.
62, broadband, okay. Last time I didn't keep track of this as well, so I'm trying to do better at doing that. Okay, and then I think Representative Hansen, you're next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would go with 67, the one that came in this morning, the BIPOC community involvement.
Okay, all right. And I'm going to choose number 60. That is Minnesota Housing Finance Agency, MHFA, if that means anything. And you know, it's going kind of well, so maybe we'll just start again. Representative Liebling.
So I am interested in number 57, which is the Minnesota Sex Offender Program, but this is one that I feel the framing of it is perhaps not right. And let me just say to members that this is a program where we spend an enormous amount of money, and it doesn't get, it's fraught with issues. It's a big, it's been used, it's been weaponized by both sides of the political aisle in the past. But it is our responsibility. And so I guess what I would do is say, if we could frame it to ask the question about how well it has served us in terms of giving us more public safety in the state. That's what I would like to know as a research question if we are able to reframe it that way.
Okay, thank you very much. I got that down, Representative Liebling. Next is Senator Curran.
So I would do number 13, Madam Chair.
Number 13, which is
Department of Education.
MDE.
Department of Education grant oversight.
Okay. All right. Next on my list is Representative Erickson.
You're muted, Representative Erickson.
Of course, I'm muted. Number 7, the Energy Conservation Improvement Program.
Okay. Next is Senator Klein.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Number 51, County Mental Health Crisis Responders.
County Mental Health, okay. Next we have Representative Hansen.
Number 64, sustainable building guidelines. I'm assuming that's a relatively smaller compared to some of the other ones. If Ms. Randall could comment on that.
Ms. Randall, do you want to comment, or will we wait till you scope them out?
Madam Chair, Representative Hansen, it's not as big as some of the others, but we'll know more when we scope it out.
Okay. And Ms. Randall, I have a question for you in regards to number 42, the COVID-19 death counts. I think this topic came up once before. It was the question that I had that I forgot to ask you then. Is that scopable? Is it something that you can do in the OLA?
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the question. It is something that would be very difficult for us to answer because we could look at death certificates. I think we'd have to figure out how our authority gets us there. But then whether or not we know if that was the correct cause of death would require us to question medical professionals' judgment. And that's not something that we're really equipped to do.
Yeah, if I recall, that's what you had done before, but a lot of members had talked to me about it and would like it to be done. I think it's a matter of maybe in a different way. So I'm going to choose number 63, the Destination Medical Center. And when I look at this, there are 6 of us. And if we each got one more choice, that would be 18 instead of 15. However, the real narrowing is when it comes to the vote of the members. So right now, our aim is at 15, which would enable us to make 3 more choices amongst ourselves. So Ms. Randall, do you want to comment on that, is considering what we've already chosen to go on the list?
Madam Chair, I think ultimately it's important for us to get down to 15 because it's a matter of staff resources on our side to pull together information. One thing to think about as you're looking at the list and selecting the remaining topics is to think about balance. And so trying to look across the categories. You know, I've kind of been working off of this front sheet, and for example, right now we don't have any topics selected under the environment, natural resources, and agriculture category. That might be an area to look at. We don't have one under the catch-all of government operations or transportation. I do feel, I think, obligated to just mention topic number 58, Southwest Light Rail Transit, because there have been a large number of hearings related to that topic, a lot of requesting of us to do work there. I have committed to us doing some special review work, and that is already underway. But the questions that are in the bills, and I will note it's bipartisan authorship on the bills, and it's in both bodies, and it's been moving forward. There's a long list of questions there that members have expressed an interest in us answering. And what I have said in every committee I've been in is it would have to be approved by this group as a program evaluation for us to do that. Certainly your prerogative. I've been working hard to defend your prerogative to make that choice or not. If you don't select it, that is fine. OLA will still be doing work in that area. But I just, out of kind of full transparency and kind of doing honor to all these committee hearings I've been in, I did want to just mention that topic.
I had forgotten about that. Definitely agree with that. Representative Liebling.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I'm a little confused about all of this, Ms. Randall. So the bill that's moving appropriates some money, at least on a contingent basis, to use for the audit. And I don't think that that bill also says that this commission has to approve it, right? So I'm not really sure of the added value. If you could just maybe, I don't know if I'm just a little dense today or what, but like explain what the added value would be of this group picking that as a topic, you know, understanding that there is broad support for looking at this deeply, but you know, what would be the added for us?
Ms. Randall.
Madam Chair, Representative Liebling, thank you for the question. I think it's a great question. So the bill requires OLA to do a special review or a program evaluation, or both. And we are satisfying that bill, which is still in bill form anyways, by doing a special review. So we have met that requirement. So there's no requirement of this group to authorize a program evaluation. The benefit of what it gets you if you authorize a program evaluation is a deeper, broader look at the issues. So we have 2 staff people now in our special review group, and they will be working on Southwest Light Rail in addition to other areas. And so we have sent a letter to the Met Council asking them very specific questions, and we will get the answers to those very specific questions, and that will be under the special review. If members are interested in us taking a broader look at looking at the management, the whole process of making decisions, kind of the much broader scale questions, that requires a dedicated team. And that's where the program evaluation group would come in. The audit commission, of course, is the entity that selects the evaluation topics. And so they can't really be selected through the bill. And frankly, the bill is written in a respectful way, I think. And it says, you know, if the Legislative Audit Commission selects this as a program evaluation, here are the things we'd like you to look at. And so that's really the question before you. We will be getting answers related to Southwest regardless. It would just be a matter of the breadth and the depth of what we can do. And I did just want to add on the appropriation that is in the bill right now, it's a $200,000 appropriation that would only be used if it was a program evaluation, and it would be used to get expertise that we may not have, you know, whether it's engineering expertise, whether it's expertise managing these large scale projects. That also, frankly, would be contingent on our ability to find an independent consultant who isn't somehow already attached or connected to this project, which may be difficult.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Randall. I really appreciate that. I think the big thing is this is such a strong bipartisan request. I think this could be one of our 3 that we have, and let's just put that on one of our 3. And then that'll leave 2 others for us to take a look at as well. Anybody else? Let's have a conversation and think about what other 2 we could use. Representative Hansen, I'm just going to start a list. It's not on the basis of it just being named, but we can kind of create a short list for the 2. Representative Hansen.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Chair. And, you know, Ms. Randall had mentioned we're a little light on the environment, natural resources, and agriculture. And I'm torn between 2 or 3 here. One is the MPCA landfill permitting and oversight. I think the input with that request was fairly substantial. You know, that the dams and dam safety I had put on because I think that's something that really hasn't been paid attention to and has a big impact. And then the MPCA air monitoring, I think, I don't know if that could be scoped in, but maybe if Ms. Randall could mention which of those 3 would be the best she thought could go. Because I do think we need an environmental choice.
Ms. Randall?
Thank you, Madam Chair and Representative Hansen. I think they're all important areas to look at. I will note that number 23, the MPCA air monitoring regulation would be large. We would need to probably do it on maybe a case study basis. I know there was concerns around Northern Meadows. To the extent it could be scoped around some specific facilities that might make it more doable. Number 25 related to dams and dam safety. Honestly, I don't know much about this area, but that would be something the team could learn more about in the background as we develop the background paper. Number 28 regarding landfill permitting and oversight. I do know that this is kind of a long-standing issue and concern among members and citizens. This topic came to us from a citizen who was thoughtful in their request, but I don't know that there's been a lot of questions around this at the legislature.
Remind me which number that was again, because we've hopped over a whole bunch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That landfill one was number 28. So
that was the first one you mentioned, Representative Hansen, okay.
Yep, I think I would recommend maybe 28 then, if that's the one that comes from a citizen. It's a little more.
I'll put it on the list, Representative Hansen, okay. Anybody else candidates for the last 2? Senator Klein. I'll come to you next, Representative Erickson. Senator
I'll get
Klein.
my hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, the sun is in my thing here. Go ahead, Representative Erickson. Senator Klein, I'll come to you then.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I was going to suggest either 49 or 48, but maybe Ms. Randall wants to comment on 48 in regard to looking at how to reorganize DHS. Is that doable? And 49 has to do with the delinquency on the part of getting this child care revitalization grant program going. They appropriated that money in 2019, and they're just now setting up an application system. So,
Ms. Randall, would you comment on those two?
Sure, Madam Chair. So number 48 is less of a typical program evaluation. A program evaluation is normally, we're looking at a program that's in place and how is it working. 48 is a little bit more of a think piece, is what I would say. But it would involve looking at the structure of state government as it relates to human services right now and see what functions are housed within that agency and if there are other places where they might naturally fit. And then looking at how other states organize these services and functions to see if there's other options. And so it's a little bit different, but it's certainly something that OLA could do.
Yeah, then I'll go with 48, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, could I comment on that one, please?
Sure. Go ahead, Representative Liebling.
All right. Well, thank you. And I'm glad that Ms. Randall said that this isn't usually the kind of thing. I kind of object to this one, to tell you the truth, because I don't really think this is the OLA's prerogative to tell us how we should organize state government on sort of on the grander scale. And this is a very political topic right now because lots of different members are coming in and saying, oh, we should carve up DHS this way, we should carve it up that way. And, I know there are questions about it, but this just doesn't feel to me like the kind of thing that OLA can come in and give us sort of the impartial advice that they are known for and that keeps them above the fray. So I frankly think this is not a good topic.
Thank you, Representative Liebling. Next, I have Representative Erickson. Your hand is still up on this topic.
Yes, I wanted to comment because the way I see this is several years ago, we did an audit of teacher licensure, and the report brought about a total reorganization of it. And I think the members who have requested this from my caucus are looking at the same concept of an agency. And, the Board of Teaching was a small agency, but Health and Human Services is a huge agency. So I think they're looking at how can we be more effective and efficient. And like Ms. Randall said earlier, what are they doing in other states? So I would like to keep that on behalf of my members. Thank you.
Okay. Now remember, this is not where you choose one and it's automatically included. So this is narrowing it down to 2. All right, Senator Klein.
Thank you, Senator Kiffmeyer, Chair. And I wanted to put in a pitch for number 40, which was actually sent in by Senator Howe. And you've worked with me on the health committees and know how this issue of our unique privacy laws around health records in Minnesota impacts a lot of decisions we try to make on that committee. I think it'd be helpful for us to have an objective voice talking about the balance of benefits and losses sort of entailed in that unique privacy legislation that we have in Minnesota. So I wanted to offer number 40 for your consideration, Chair.
Yep, for all of us to consider. Thank you, Senator Klein. Next, I have Senator Cran.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to throw out the number 41. I don't believe that's been selected for consideration. 41, bulk health contracting.
Thank you very much, Senator Cran. I see your hand up, Representative Liebling.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Well, the one that I would like to put in a pitch for is the one that's under education about the school nurses. This one came really close last time, and I think it was like missed being selected by just a hair. And I'm not sure the way it's framed here is the most useful, but I do think that this is a big, big issue right now for us with all of the health challenges in schools, with COVID, with You know, I think it would be, it's under education health, but obviously it has crossover, but I would like to put in a pitch for that. I know a number of members are interested in that. So want to make sure that doesn't get neglected. Thanks.
Thank you, Representative Liebling. This reminds me, though, of the DHS one, which was reorganizing DHS and going through that. I think that was, can't remember where the number was. Oh,
it's 48.
48, yeah, and that reminds me of that one. But so we have that, and so I am looking at another one, and that is, well, actually, I keep track of all of you, so then I forget to think about what I would like to do here.
Chair.
Yes. All right. Yes, Senator Cran.
We had the kind of consensus, and you agreed to put 58 on. That was the first one, and we have since then added 5 others. So.
Okay.
And kind of the group choice for consideration to narrow it down to those last 3. We have 58, 28, 48, 41, 40, and 14.
Right. Yeah. Well, 58 Southwest Light Rail is already agreed to as one of the 3. So that's on the list. That makes 13 with that one. And so it's the other 2. So it's 28, 48, 40, 41, and 14. And any one of those I'm fine with, but I would have to say that I would also go for number 41. I think this is a portion that spent a huge amount of money. I think it's narrow in its scope. I think it lends itself very well to an audit. And I think it really is, qualifies as a kind of audit area that I think would be very important to us, large amount of money. Very specific in regards to what it did. And I think a vested interest for the public. When I think of those criteria, Ms. Randall, I think 41 fits very well in that. Anybody else?
Well, I'd like to just comment on that, Madam Chair, because this
Sure.
is, I agree that it's an important topic, but I think it's kind of been examined. I mean, I remember hearing about this in hearings. I'm not exactly sure where, but there have been questions and answers about this already. So it's not an unexamined topic. And while, you know, I'm not saying it's not important, I kind of thought we were through this already and should use our limited resource for something else.
Yeah, thank you, Representative Liebling. I'm just looking at the special review, noticing that it's released in 2021. So Ms. Randall, could you comment on that?
Yes, Madam Chair and members, thank you for that. Yes, we did release and I'm looking at it right now. This is the beauty of virtual meetings. We did release a special review that looked into our contract.
Was very much close to what we're talking about here.
It did look at the contract default, and I do think some questions related to this will be captured in some other financial audits that are underway.
Okay, well then I'll let go of 41. Senator Cram, do you have a different one that you would rather see on this contest for 2?
Yeah, Madam Chair. Yeah, let's see it. Let's see. No, there's Senator's already got number 7. We already got number 60. I think the other one, which is kind of a broad category, and that's why I thought the vault one, but you know, when you look at grants to nonprofit organizations, I think we have a multiple topics, and Ms. Randall, I'd love your thoughts on it, because we have multiple areas that cover COVID and multiple areas that cover grants. And so, and I know there's some embedded within other agencies, but this one's under government general operations. And so I think it would be good for us to get some insight on grants.
So which one is that, Senator?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, number 31.
31, okay. 31 grants to nonprofits. Okay. All right. Okay, members, we need to narrow this down to 2. Representative Hansen, your hand is up, so I'll call on you first.
Madam Chair, I just was getting the clarifying because so we each picked 2, that got us to 12, and then we've agreed on Southwest Light Rail, so that got us to 13, and now we're trying to narrow the 6 other recommendations down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Chair, I think the clarification is that if I go from my list, we just crossed off the vault because of the overlapping, the work that's already been done. So I still have, we've got number 28, landfill, number 48, DHS organization, number 40, Minnesota Health Records, and number 14, school nurses, and number 31, grants for nonprofits. So we have 5.
Right, 28, 48, 40, 31, and 14. On number 48, is that the one, Ms. Randall, that you talked about as far as not as workable as far as a OLA topic?
Madam Chair, number 48 is looking at the structure of DHS. And so it's not a typical program evaluation topic.
Okay. Well, from a practical point of view, I think that 31 would be something, grants to nonprofits, interest.
Madam Chair, I'll remove 48 and move to support 30.
To support what, which was that 30 or 31?
31.
Okay.
So remove 48 since I think it is overwhelming, and move to support 31, which I think Senator Coran mentioned.
Okay. All right, Representative Hansen.
Chair, and because we already have put 47 on, and I know that school nursing services is separate from that. I think if we had 2 nursing things, we might have some challenges there. So I'm going to go with 28. I would ask that we consider 28 as an environmental project, and that would be number 15.
That would be number 15. Okay, all right. So we have 31 and 28 that seem to be the consensus right now, 28 and 31. All right. Senator Klein, you have your hand up. Not sure if you...
Madam Chair, I'll remove my recommendation to include 40 and support 28.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a very good topic. Senator Klein would really be good to do so, but I think in this particular consensus. So with that, 28 and 31.
And Madam Chair, I had recommended the school nurse topic, and I do think it's separate, honestly, from the board, but in terms of, you know, balance is important. And so I would also withdraw that and support 28, which was that's landfill permitting, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay, members, I think with that then on my list, I have from our first round of choices, Southwest Light Rail is, I think, 60. Is that right? Yeah, no, 58. That is 58. 58, okay. So I'm going to read them off what I have here, and everybody, I'll chime in to make sure. I have 47, 42, 1, 62, 67, 60, 57, 13, 7, 51, 64, 63, 58, 28, and 31. Wow.
Bingo. Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I said
Sorry,
bingo.
Fran?
I said bingo. Sorry, Madam Chair.
Wow. I looked for all the nodding heads and it seemed to be good. Okay, with that, members, let's have a motion. Senator Grant moves that list as I just read, that everybody has concurred to, will be our recommendation to the full legislature, right, Ms. Randall? This goes to the full legislature now? No.
Madam Chair, so now what will happen is staff will develop a one-page background paper on each of these topics, and then we will meet again in about 2 weeks, and then you will further narrow down the list to 10, and then that will go to all members for a survey.
One more time. Okay.
Yep. You get to meet a lot.
Yes. Yes, it is, and appreciate that very much. Okay, members, we have that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate that. And then we will schedule another meeting, and then we will go a little bit more detail and narrow it down to 10. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Not only that, I'm giving you 5 minutes to spare to grab a sandwich or something. Okay, with that, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.